Welcome to Within the Frame, where we bring the most pressing issues across the globe into focus. I'm Kim Mok-yeon. Earlier this month, during his state visit to the Philippines, South Korean President Lee Jae Myung said Korea and the Philippines could become key partners in navigating geopolitical uncertainty and intensifying global technology competition. As geopolitical tensions reshape the Indo-Pacific, economic and security issues are becoming increasingly intertwined, from supply chains and technology to maritime security. For middle powers like Korea and the Philippines, these shifts are creating both risks and opportunities. The two countries have been expanding cooperation in trade, investment, and defense with the Korea-Philippines Free Trade Agreement, which took effect in December 2024, adding new momentum to economic ties. To help us break down into the latest developments, we are joined by Professor Victor Andres Dindo Manhit, the founder and president of the Strat-based Institute for Strategic and International Studies, a Manila-based policy think tank. A very big welcome, Professor.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here in your show, and hopefully I can contribute from some information from Manila.
Thank you so much. So let's start right away. Professor, let me start with the broader regional picture first. So in the Indo-Pacific, economic issues and security concerns are becoming increasingly interconnected. From your perspective, what is driving this growing link between the two?
I think we see this confluence between national security and trade and investment because of a reality that the world seems to be being divided between one that continue to share values of democracy, international law, a rules-based order, and really pure and simple engagement, investments through identifying what is of the interest of certain countries. And right now, we see some that would like to push their weight around, especially in our region. That means use coercive force, even at the level of economic coercion, to control or define their economic foothold in the region.
So we are definitely experiencing a lot of changes nowadays. Well, given that backdrop, Professor, what kind of role can countries like South Korea and the Philippines play as middle powers when it comes to maintaining regional stability and order?
When you look at the Republic of Korea, the Philippines, and other middle powers, we could have a stronger cooperation. We need to interconnect and really stand up on how can we best defend the rules-based international order, how can we collectively work together and build stronger economic ties and secure our nations economically by working together and building from other middle power. In the Philippines, I've always argued that we might be part of Southeast Asia or the ASEAN region, but we can continue to strengthen our relationship with countries in the East Asia, Republic of Korea, Japan, or even Taiwan in terms of the economic side or even the defense side.
So if we combined our hands together, it would definitely become an important role in maintaining regional stability. Now, when we speak of cooperation between the two countries, Professor, as we saw during President Lee Jae Myung's visit earlier this month, Korea and the Philippines are expanding collaboration across many different sectors. So in the context of this shifting geopolitics in the Indo-Pacific, what strategic meaning does this deeper cooperation between the two actually carry?
You know, at times, international news is driven by this great competition between China and the United States. But what really matters is how can we really build relationship from middle powers like Republic of Korea and the Philippines that can focus on investments, like in the case of the Philippines, that's what we need, investments that can create jobs in our country, a growth trajectory that can create jobs. And then the part of the Republic of Korea, maybe they can see us as part of an opportunity to build their own supply chain, using our economic, a more open economy of the Philippines, and really see us an opportunity, not only to push your own defense industrial products, but also opportunities to invest in our country, use our workforce with Republic of Korea or Korean technology and really work together.
So it seems that it really carries a lot of global strategic implications as well. Let's also touch upon the broader economic landscape. So global supply chains are being reshaped right now. Professor, how are factors like U.S.-China competition, technological rivalry, and geopolitical risks driving structural changes in supply chains across Asia?
We know for a fact that, of course, like Korea economically works a lot with China and even with the US. But I hope, from our perspective from the Philippines, the visit of your president gives us an opportunity that there might be some supply chain needs coming from the Republic of Korea that can be developed in country. We are not as strong in manufacturing, but we have what you call light manufacturing capacity in the semiconductor space and in a consumer-oriented space also. And this is, I believe, again, as an opportunity for us middle powers to work together and show that we don't need to choose between China or the United States, because collectively we can work together and build on the needs, the capacities of each countries like Korea and the Philippines, and maybe come out stronger economically and bring more countries that are middle powers to work with us.
So you've stressed the importance of how much cooperation between these middle power countries are important, but in detail, Professor, so how can South Korea and the Philippines work together to strengthen supply chain stability in particular? And which key sectors do you think would offer the greatest potential for deeper cooperation?
Of course, we remember as you mentioned earlier, that there's a FTA, a foreign trade agreement with Korea. How can we maximize our foreign trade agreement together? And specifically, we have seen investment in the shipbuilding space. We have workers, you have your technology. Again, as I've said, there might be some supply chain needs in the semiconductor space. We are maybe at the lower level of what we can produce in our supply in terms of semiconductors. But if we can get a part of that, we can provide those things. No? And we are a consumption-driven economy in the Philippines. We have 118 million population, so we could be a market for your products also.
So it would definitely be a good help in both supply and demand sectors. Now, you've touched upon the Korea-Philippines FTA. We are aware that it took effect in December of 2024. What kind of a real and tangible impact has this free trade agreement had so far on both economies?
It's a reality that when FTAs are signed, it might take time. But I think the challenge for both countries, especially with the visit of your president in the Philippines, and even the participation of our president during your hosting of the APEC, allows us opportunity to take note of this agreement. How can we really foster and build on trade, build on investment in both countries? I'd say it's in birthing stage. You know? It's there, but we have not. I think both countries have not really felt its impact yet. But a focused effort by both countries to build on what is strong competency of one market, our nation, the Philippines, the Korean market, and also your export in your nation, then maybe we can build from there. But we cannot really measure the impact as of now. But I still am hopeful that the agreement is the first step. And we have taken small steps, but we should take bigger steps now, especially with the visit of your president and the commitment to invest more in the Philippines.
So since not even 2 years have passed, so we
Yes.
are awaiting some concrete results to come from that deal.
A part of your president's visit here was there was a good discussion between the Philippine private sector companies and Korean private sector companies. So we hope that, of course, nothing concrete has moved forward from there. It was just a week, but hopefully something can be built on those meetings that we saw with the president's visit.
Yes, we'll definitely be looking forward to that. Now, Professor, let's shift to another area where cooperation is expanding quickly between the two countries, of course, defense. Korea is now the Philippines' largest arms supplier. How would you evaluate the current level of defense industry cooperation between the two countries?
When you look at our Navy, our Air Force, and this plan to continue to working with Korea in terms of our frigates, our Air Force needs, it shows that we are satisfied with the technology that Korean companies have brought to us as we really build on our capacities. You know, the Philippines, it's quite sad on our part, and as I've long been an advocate of it, that we should not have limited ourselves to simply looking internally. It took some time of us to wake up that, you know, we are an archipelago, and part of being an archipelago is to build on our capacities to defend ourselves externally. And Korea has become an important part there. So I think the expectation is we will continue to work with Korea to strengthen the capacities of our Navy and our Air Force.
But in order for this to become a long-term thing, what direction do you think this partnership should go for this defense cooperation to become a more sustainable?
On the part of the Philippines, of course, we cannot keep on this relationship where basically we buy from Korea. We are hoping, because under our laws in the Philippines, we would like to attain what we call a self-reliance defense posture. And part of that program of our government is to work with technology providers. Even at 100% investment in the Philippines, that means we're open to foreign investors. So we're hoping that Korean companies can see and look at the Philippines as an opportunity to build on this technology that you have from your Korean companies, and find time to invest in the Philippines, that where we can generate jobs for our people and also learn from the technology. So that can be a longer term relationship than simply procurement and sales from Korea.
Right. So it seems as though defense cooperation could be a key pillar of cooperation between the two countries. Now, at the same time, many global companies are diversifying their supply chains and looking for new production bases. And Korean investments in Manila are also increasing, including projects by HD Hyundai Heavy Industries. Professor, what
Yes.
advantages does the Philippines offer as an alternative production base or investment destination for Korean companies?
We have a young workforce, highly skilled and adaptable to new skills also. That's what we offer. Imagine your technology, like shipbuilding with Filipino shipbuilding workers. That is a win-win for both. And if ever also on the supply chain side of other technology, IT, ICT space, then maybe we can work with our own digital workers in the Philippines, no? Or even our own semiconductor factory workers. So there is a lot. That's what we can offer. Good workers, very young, capable to be upskilled, and hopefully that could be enough for the Koreans to take note of us. On the other part, we have strong incentives and investment program for locators in the supply chain. It's just that at times, some companies don't really know that these programs exist, how we can fast track investments in the Philippines, especially if it's considered strategic industries, how we call it a green lane. When green doesn't mean not only environmental friendly, but green in terms of go. That means harnessing the full force of the Philippine bureaucracy to ensure the investment of certain Korean companies also. So it's good to understand that there are laws, processes, and regulations that can be harnessed by Korean companies, taking note of supply chain. And wouldn't it be nice, no, instead of simply relying on traditional supply chain partners of Korea, to look at the Philippines? We are your friends. We value each other as we share values of democracy, and maybe please take note of that, and hopefully build some partnership along the way.
Right, a very strong labor force backed by a friendly alliance between the two could bring Philippines to become an increasingly attractive production base for Korean firms as
I
well.
used to say that we are, we have this strong geostrategic location in the Philippines, but if we can transform this defense cooperation into investment opportunities also, that would be good for the country.
Definitely, definitely. Now, Professor, before we conclude our discussion tonight, finally, the Philippine government has been pushing a number of policies to attract foreign investment and to strengthen industrial competitiveness as well. To further expand cooperation with Korean firms, what policy efforts or institutional improvements is the government focusing on right now?
This government since 2022 has really pushed for stronger investment by passing a law called the Foreign Investment Act. We even have created a new tax regime for investment opportunities for countries like Korea, for example. We even have, even in terms of agricultural area, our constitution does not allow ownership of land, but we have a 99-year land lease law that can be harnessed. No? And of course, public-private partnership in the infrastructure space. Korean engineering companies, Korean companies can work with Philippine private sector and work in areas like infrastructure build-up in the Philippines. So a lot of opportunities I hope Korea takes note of, especially after the visit of your president.
Right. So it will be really interesting to see how those policies could shape the future of South Korea-Philippine cooperation moving forward. I'm afraid we'll have to conclude our discussion right here. Maraming salamat sa inyo, Professor Manhid. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Maraming salamat din.
And that'll be all from us on Within the Frame. Be sure to tune in again next time as we continue to explore the stories that matter. Till then, stay informed and engaged.